Who lies about dying from a terminal disease to get off child support? Hey guys, my name is Connie Joy and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new here, welcome back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a situation that just happened to me about 2 weeks ago. First and foremost, I've never made a video like this before. I never planned on making a video like this. I don't even post on social media in regards to the topic we're going to be talking about. Like, I don't talk in detail. I don't talk about my kids' fathers. Long story short, this situation is basically about my oldest son, Jaden, and his father. Now, the last time that his father saw him was when he was 8 months old at child support court. And before anybody gets carried away, child support in general is not the reason why his father is not in his life. He's not in his life because he chose not to be in his life. I have full custody of my oldest son. He just didn't want to be part of his life. If you're a single mom and you have a donor like that, then you understand what I'm talking about. He wanted me to abort him, but he did not provide any compensation for me to do that. And it also wasn't something that I wanted to do myself. So we had Jaden. Jaden is 12 years old now. He just turned 12 in July. He has other half siblings. He was just the first of those children to be born, and he's the only boy of all his siblings. I mean, I could go on and on about incident after incident over the years as to why he just is not a part of my son's life, but we'll be here all day long and I don't really want to get into all that. Basically, in a nutshell, he's negligent, irresponsible, he doesn't care, he doesn't, just doesn't want to be a part of his life. He did tell me when he had his second child, who he thought was going to be a boy, he named that child Jayla, because apparently Jayla is a unisex name, and he told me on the phone that he named the child Jayla to replace Jaden. And that was to hurt my feelings, and I was just like, well, good luck to that kid. I feel sorry for the kid, actually. I mean, at the time I was just like, okay, whatever. But he also went into detail and told me that basically he wants nothing to do with Jaden because I didn't want to be with him anymore. But he left me. But I guess there's just some street code that even when people leave you and ghost you, you're supposed to just wait for them to come back around and just re-enter your life and just pick back up where they left off of. So I didn't do that. I went on to nursing school and went on and lived my life. So every year we get like this annual phone call, maybe like once or twice a year. And it's always him calling me ranting about child support. Now, he doesn't pay his child support. Like, as of recent, he just started paying his child support. But prior to recently, recently within like the last 2 months, he hasn't paid his child support consistently at all. He's $21,000 in the rear. The reason why he calls me and harasses me is because I'm the only one who has him on child support, number one. Number two, due to the amount of money that he owes child support, he can't get a passport, he can't leave the country, he can't go into the service, he can't go to school and take up grants, he can't get a driver's license, he can't do anything, and there's an active warrant out for his arrest for $21,000. Even though he's currently making payments, well, the government is garnishing his wages and taking payments from his paycheck, there's still a warrant out for his arrest because child support wants all that money paid back in full. And it doesn't go to child support per se, it goes to me. I don't owe the government any money in terms of food stamps or cash assistance or anything like that. Therefore, it goes straight to me. It's nothing like that. So don't think that he's paying back my welfare from a decade ago. That's not the situation or case whatsoever. Over the years, he has contacted me and had the most bizarre, asinine plans trying to get around child support and trying to get off and trying to trick me into getting him off child support. I remember one time he had checked it with some fraudulent lawyer, I guess he said she was a lawyer. And he told me he wanted to go into the service so badly and turn his life around, and that Jaden would be his beneficiary and all types of things, and he would have free health insurance and all types of stuff. And he said, all I need you to do is fax me your signature. And just write your signature down and fax it to my lawyer. And I'm sitting here like, now why would I do something stupid like that? Why would I do something stupid like that? Now, if you're on child support or you have someone on child support, you guys know that the only way for them to get off child support is for you to actually go in front of a judge. So even if he had my signature, it wouldn't have made a difference, but the fact that he was trying to swindle me was just like, dude, you're gonna go to the ends of the earth trying to find ways to get off child support instead of just paying it. The scandals are from here all the way to Boston, Massachusetts and back. Like, it's just endless. And I get this special harassment treatment because he owes me all this money. And I say he owes me this money because the little boy down the hall, I use all my money to make sure that he has everything that his dad has not given him since he was born. I take care of that. And doing that, I do take from my own personal needs because my kid comes first. So when I get my child support, it is my money. Yes, it is. I've spent more than $21,000 on my son. Kids cost more than $21,000 in 12 years time. So I'm not saying I spend all of the money on myself, but what I'm saying is like that money goes to sustaining that child's livelihood. So whatever I spend it on is whatever I spend it on. It goes into the pot. We got our annual phone call this year. And it's, when I say annual, it's just like, you know, I guess whenever he gets down in the dumps and he gets so miserable because life is just not working out for him because of child support, it has ruined his credit, because it impedes so much of his life, he just calls me and harasses me. Like, he just calls me and harasses me all the time. Like, it's so irrelevant, and he never asks about my son. He never mentions my son. And my son, I mean, I just had this conversation with my son a few months ago where I told him about his father. I didn't tell many details, but I was like, you know, you have a dad, he lives in Boston, Massachusetts, and he just lives a different lifestyle than we live, you know? And I said, you know, you have your mom, you have your aunts, you have your friends, you have your brother. They love you. I mean, we all love you. Like, we're picking up the pieces. We're going to build our own little village to help take care of you and raise you. There are so many people that love you, even though this man, you know, has chosen this lifestyle. So 2 Sundays ago, I got off work. I worked a double. I got off work at 1 a.m. It was 4 a.m. when I got a phone call. Now, I'm thinking that it's one of my sisters because no one calls your phone at 4 a.m. unless it's an emergency. So I'm thinking it's my sister. I didn't even check to see who it was calling. I just picked up. And I pick up and it turns out to be him. And he's just like, hello, Constance. And I was like, who is this? And he was like, it's, you know, we'll call him Jake. He said, it's Jake. And I'm just like, what do you want? I was like, it's 4 in the morning. I'm sitting here like, what time is it? I was like, it's 4 in the morning. What do you want? And he was just like, I wanted to talk about our friendship. And I'm sitting here like, click. I hang up. I'm just like, whatever is going on, not tonight. I have work in the next. I have to work in the morning. My kids have school in the morning. And if you took care of any of your kids, you would actually know what it entails and how a call at 4 a.m. is very disrespectful, especially when it's coming from you and it's not an emergency. I have full custody of your son, so what exactly are you calling me for? So I hung up. He calls me again. I hung up. I didn't even answer this time. So then I'm sitting here laying in bed and I hear my phone notification going off over and over and over again. I did not feel the least bit compelled to roll over and check. Not at all. It wasn't from jail. Not that I would care if it was from jail, because if he did get locked up, I would say, hey, yo, he has a $21,000 warrant in New Jersey. You want to expedite him back when he's done doing whatever he's doing at your jail in Boston, Massachusetts? Well, that would have been the situation in case if that was the scenario, and that wasn't the scenario. He was just, I don't know, drunk, high, whatever the situation was. It was inappropriate. He should not have called me. And had I not thought it was family, I would have never answered. The next morning, I am checking my phone, checking my text messages. I will put the text messages up right here so you guys can actually see them. But basically, he told me that he was dying and he had a condition that he did not want to disclose with me, and to tell his son that he would not be around much longer. And that whatever I needed in the upcoming days, I could have, and he would help, you know, give to me and Jaden or whatever. And then he said sorry for the family that he never had. So when I saw that, part of me was just like, is this real? And then another part of me was just like, why are you such a liar? But then another part of me was just like, Connie, you don't want to be wrong, and he actually is dying from something. You don't want to be wrong because you're going to feel guilty. But at the same exact time, this man has lied to me for the past 13 years. He's been lying to me, now I'm going to say 14, because Jaden's 12. It takes a year for me to, you know, it takes 9 months to carry a baby, and I knew him for like at least a year prior to getting pregnant, maybe 6 months before getting pregnant. I don't really know. We'll say 13 and a half, 14 years stretch, give or take a few months. I'm just like, if you hadn't lied to me about so much stuff, I would actually approach this situation more cautiously, but because you're such an habitual liar, I'm not gonna take this but so seriously. In a nutshell, I told him, if you're lying, I hope God has mercy on your soul, because your son does not need or deserve to hear that you're dying and you're not dying. He has autism. Do you have any idea what I'm gonna have to go through to console him, thinking that his father's dying? Because Jaden is a genuine kid who genuinely loves people and cares. And I know that it makes him feel bad that he doesn't have somebody to call dad. And when I've dated other people in the past and their kids were around and they were calling their fathers daddy, he wanted to call them daddy too, because he wants a father. He wants a father figure. It's a shame that like he never chose to be a part of Jaden's life. With all the technology we have, he could be Skyping, he could be Google Meet, he could be video chatting, he could use Facebook Messenger, he could use Instagram chatting or whatever calling it is. He could have done so many things to communicate with his son. His 12-year-old son, he's about to be a teenager. And he chose not to. He chose not to be in his life. And he chose not to support him either. I was just like floored at the idea that he could be lying to me. So in his text that he sent to me, he also was insulting me and then apologizing and then insulting me and then apologizing. And I'm just like, no one on their deathbed is going to go back and forth. They're going to lay it on the table, get their affairs in order, and that's going to be what it is. He was back and forth between being sincere and sorry about everything that he didn't do, and then also calling me immature, and then telling me that I was going to see him as the villain and the bad guy. And I'm just sitting here like, dude, you actually are though. You have vilified yourself. You've chosen this path. And what do you want me to do about that? Back to what I said to him. I told him basically I would take out a life insurance policy on you. That way when you do pass, my son will be taken care of, because I don't even think you worked enough for him to get SSI until he's 18 years old. And if he can get SSI, it's probably going to be a measly check. So I'll take out a life insurance policy on you, so my son will be set. And I said, I also said to him, what exactly are you, what is this terminal, what are you dying of? What are you terminally dying of? And is it hereditary? Because I have your only son and I need to be proactive if there's something that I should be, aware of. Well, I have Android and it says read every time somebody reads your text messages. So I saw him reading them, but he wouldn't respond to me. So then the following day, it got me thinking, I'm just like, maybe this man is actually really so distraught because he's dying and he's just like, doesn't know how to handle it. So I text him again, is this a hereditary disease? Just yes or no. If you want to tell me what the disease is, fine. When you do die, I would just go purchase your death certificate, which I will be, I would actually be allowed to get because I have your child, I have your only son. They would release that to me and I could buy it. So again, he did not respond to my text message. Sorry, my earring's like doing something to my ear. He didn't respond to my text message again. So then the third day after this, I was talking to one of my sisters on the phone and I told her about the whole situation. And she was basically like, what if he's really actually dying? Because I told her I'm gonna make a video about this. I'm so tired of this nonsense. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is because I was floored by how much of a liar he is. And I knew in my heart and in my common sense that he was lying. When somebody lies to you for 14 years, 13 and a half, 14, whatever. When somebody lies to you for more than a decade over and over and over again in regards to your child, I think you know when they're lying to you. I think you know when they're lying to you. She was trying to convince me not to make this video in the event that he actually did pass away from this terminal disease that he would not disclose with me. And I told her I have the right to know what he's dying of, and she says, you don't have the right to know. And I said, but I have his son. I do have the right to know, and I would think that when you're on your deathbed and you have one son, you would actually want the mother to know to protect him in case it's hereditary. And if it's not hereditary, then just tell me that it's not hereditary. He was completely reading my text messages and saying nothing, because I think that he did not expect me to have this approach about life insurance, about his death certificate. I think he didn't think that I was going to actually respond this way. I think he thought I was going to just be like, you know what? I'm going to call child support and let them know to take it easy on you or take you off child support. And that was what his goal really was. Keep in mind, again, I'm the only one. He has to my knowledge, he has 4 kids. I think 5. I don't even know. I've lost count. He wanted me to pity him and take him off child support. And I told him, I was just like, if you're lying, I mean, you guys will see it in the text. And I have no shame. I have no shame. I raised that little boy. Everything he is because I've done it. I told him that, you're gonna pay child support until the day you die. You're gonna be on SSI as an old man and be paying child support to me because you're so irresponsible and careless and you just don't care about anybody but yourself. You can go 12 months without paying child support. You could have paid $25 in that whole entire year. That would have been something opposed to absolutely nothing. Would I have accepted that? I would still be mad. It'd be an insult. I've gotten child support checks for $7.63 before. It's very insulting, especially when you get that little phone call that child support's, you know, putting a deposit in your account, and then you go call your account and find it's a deposit for like less than $10. You're just like, I don't even get, you know, I don't even get excited or anything like that when child support hits the account. I just go to the app that I have on my phone and just check it out before I, you know, make a phone call and embarrass myself in my car on the speakers in the car hearing that the balance is $7.63. Done that before. I will not do that again. So, my sister was trying to talk me into making this video, and I said, you know what? Let's call him. I'm gonna call him on three-way because I want you to hear the lies come out of his mouth. I want you to hear this and then you tell me afterwards. So I called him 3 times in a row. He did not answer. Did not answer my phone calls. So finally he texts me though, and he says, is everything okay? And I said, yeah, I just wanted to talk. And he says, what does it entail, Ms. McNair? Before I could even respond to him, he said to me, oh, by the way, disregard those text messages I sent you the other night. I'm not dying. There's no need to worry. You don't have to worry about Jaden catching, you know, this disease. I don't have a disease. I'm not dying. The text messages just do not lie. Now, I knew in my heart and soul that this man was lying to me, but there's always that little slight chance that he might not be lying to me. But I never got, you know, emotional about it because I knew he was lying. What I did get emotional about was how furious I was that you wanted me to tell your son that. He told me, tell my son that I won't be here much longer. I have never in my life seen anything like this, and I've never seen anything like this. Who lies about dying from a terminal disease to get off child support? Who does such a thing? I mean, that's like, I'm sorry, I think I'm having an aneurysm. Who does that? I've never heard of anything like that. And before I made the phone call, my sister was just like, but who would lie about dying to get off child support? I don't think he would lie about something like that. And I'm just like, you don't know him. He's a big, huge liar. He would lie about something like this to get off child support. He would. I never thought he would actually go through with it, but is he capable of such a thing? Yes, he's capable of such a thing. And when he first sent me those text messages the night that he called me, I went and I contacted his daughter's mother and asked her if she had heard about it because they live in the same city. And whenever he goes on his rampages where he gives everyone their annual phone call and he just goes and kicks all the baby moms' backs in, he always calls us in sync with one another. So we kind of compare notes about the bullshit and we laugh about most of it. But when I asked her about this, she was like, no, he hasn't talked to me. I blocked him. He is blocked on everything that I have. However, he keeps on changing his number and calling me from different numbers. And when you call me at weird odd hours, I always think it's an emergency. So I blocked the number he called me from. He called me last night 3 times in a row at like 1 a.m. And I know this because when you block somebody from an Android, the call doesn't come through, it goes straight to voicemail, but you'll see like this little blue circle with that little line, caution line between it, across it next to their name. So you'll know that it was a missed call or that somebody that you blocked has called you. So yeah, he keeps on calling me. He calls me like every other night. And I wish that I had a man because I would love for someone to call him and say, yo, you ever call her, first of all, don't call her phone, period, because she has full custody of your child. You're not even calling about your child. You called to freaking swindle and scam the hell out of me, and you wanted me to traumatize my child. If I had a man, he could answer my phone for me at 4 in the morning and be like, what is this? Like, I would let him take care of that because this is out of control. This is out of control. I literally snapped. I sent him, I cursed him out so bad in the voice memo because I was furious. Why do you think that I deserve that? I'm taking care of your child and making him the best that I possibly can. And all you're trying to do is constantly think of ways to get out of paying child support. And you're so desperate that you would actually go and lie about dying. And he said in the text that, he said, I just wanted to reconcile with you. You wanted to reconcile with me so badly that you thought that telling me you were dying in a few days was going to make us what? Okay, first of all, you guys know that makes no sense. You know I don't believe it. I'm just like trying to like make this make sense. Like, what? What? As we stand right now, I'm really, really, really glad that I did not have this conversation with Jaden and talk to him about that. It's really unfortunate that his donor is so terrible and just so, he's so cruel. Like he's evil. Like I don't know what else to say. He's an evil person. He's a very selfish person. And why I made a kid with him, I was young. I was what, 20 years old? I was young. I'm 33 now. Like, I'm making better decisions. A huge part of me is actually really, really grateful because he's not around, because I don't know what kind of trauma my son will be experiencing if his father was in his life, being the way that he actually is. Basically, that's it. That's basically what happened. And it's just, I just never thought, like, again, I just never thought in a million years that he would actually carry out something so selfish and stupid. Who does that? Like, who does that? That's a complete mental illness. Like, something is definitely the matter with him, and I hope that that's not hereditary. But that's pretty much it. So ladies and fellas, because I know that there are single fathers out there, if you guys have any situations or stories like that, comment down below. I'm pretty sure that somebody probably has a scenario or a situation or a story time where the father of their kids probably tried to fake their own death to get out of paying child support. But I never thought I'd see the day. Never. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to pop in, tell you guys this little situation, and I hope to see you guys on the very next video. Mwah.